Piece chapter 775 was good. This is a good chapter. This was a good chapter. Holy shit, this was a good chapter. Like, we get the explanation to why Senor Pink wears this crazy outfit. I thought it was like a progress wrestling thing. I'm gonna be honest with you, because Frankie wears like the swim trunks, and they're both these big beefy dudes, and old boy uses a suplex a lot. I thought, okay, this is like some pro wrestling shit. It would explain why, like with the, especially if you look like the Attitude Era, that's like the late '90s, early 2000s, or mid '90s and early 2000s. I mean, they're very over the top. Very over the top, very macho. And I thought, okay, this is where Oda's going with this. And then you get the backstory, and it's just like, oh man, my heart went out to Senor Pink. Like, Frankie won the fight, but man, Senor Pink won my heart, dude. He won the real battle. Woo, woo. So, in this backstory, we find out that Senor Pink had a woman he was in love with named Russian. See what you did there, Oda. But he had a woman named Russian he was in love with. And he can't tell her what he really does. He can't tell her what he really does. And it's because she hates pirates. And he's a pirate. And so their whole relationship is founded off of a lie. The whole relationship's founded off a lie. And they get married, they have a kid, and he builds that relationship based off of that lie. But, anytime you build something on a cracked foundation, sooner or later, it's going to fall. That's just how these things work. And so when you look at that, that's exactly what happens. He's going out, he's doing his pirate stuff, and he's so focused on that he's not there when his child dies. He's not there when his child dies, Gimlet. And that's when his wife puts two and two together, and she realizes, okay, this dude's really a pirate. And it's raining outside. She takes off running. She gets caught in a rock slide. So now she survives, but she's as good as dead because she's brain dead. But what we end up finding out is like when he puts on the bonnet of his kid, she actually smiles. She actually smiles. And that kind of goes into where you feel on the belief. Like, if a person is medically brain dead, is their soul still inside of the body? Are they still aware of everything going on? That's a tough one. That's a tough one. I'm actually going to make that the chapter question. I'm going to drop that to you guys early. What are your thoughts on that? Like, if the doctor says they're brain dead, do you think their soul is still inside of them? Do you think that they still are aware of what's going on? I mean, because even when somebody is brain dead, like, there have been cases where they recover everything. There have been cases where that happens. It's very rare, but there have been cases where it happens. And so I'm very curious as to if it's a situation like this. I'm very curious about that. Now, the other thing we find out is that every time he just puts on more and more clothes that are more like a baby, whether it be the pacifier and everything, his wife, she just continues to smile. And so it's his way of staying connected to his wife. It's his way of staying connected to his wife. And now everything made sense. And it made sense why when he said, like, he's about to risk it all. And he's like, hey, I'm going to leave everything down. I'm going to put everything down on the table for you. This is going to be it. This is going to be it. And I'm thinking, okay, he's going to give him one hell of a suplex. He's like, no. He suplexed this dude from not the top rope, but on top of the Hell in a Cell. And I'm going to go all the way back for you guys. I'm going to go all the way back because I used a wrestling reference and in particular an Attitude Era reference. So I'm going to go back. So one of the very first things I saw when my cousin got me into the WWE, one of the first things that I saw was there was this tape that had, and yeah, like, VHS tapes and everything, right? So there was this tape. This is like 98, 99. There was a tape of Mankind versus The Undertaker, right? and I think it was Undertaker. It was either Undertaker or Kane. I'm pretty sure it was Undertaker. And they're on top of the Hell in a Cell and they're fighting. And Undertaker just throws Mankind from the top of the Hell in the Cell all the way onto the announcer's booth. All the way onto the announcer's booth. And that's kind of what happened here. That's kind of what happened here. It's just like he didn't just go from the top rope. He went all the way from the top of the Hell in a Cell to inflict damage. Because Senor Pink's just like, all right, I'm going to suplex this dude. But I'm not just going to do it here. Like, we're going to go from the top of this building all the way onto the ground below. Like, that's nuts. That's nuts that he went this far. But, you know, when Franky survives it and he just hits him with a barrage of punches, you know, Franky says, like, hey, you know, next time we cross fists, I really hope that, you know, we can have a drink and you can tell me that story, that tale about that woman named Russian that you were so in love with. I really want to hear more. And I thought that was cool. I thought that was cool because, I mean, these two, you know, they ran the hard bull gag into the ground, but Oda paid it off with that flashback to let you know why he kind of feels that way. Because we already know why Franky takes the stance that he does. I mean, because a lot of that comes with Tom. He had some of this personality before what happened to Tom, but like a lot of it deals with Tom. So I mean, this is interesting. This is interesting. I like this, man. I like what Franky said. You know, Franky, you know, shit. You know, Franky be a dude you don't want to get into a drinking match at the bar with, man. Because he's like, hey, when somebody puts a drink down on the table, you don't refuse it. You know, a man sees it all the way through. And it's just like, yep, hell no. Hell no. Like, once I get to a few drinks, yeah, I'd be like, shit, man, I can't do it anymore. I mean, that's just me. You know, especially when we start taking shots and everything. Like, I'll stick to the beer and then I'll start drinking water and you know, clean myself up. That way I can drive home. Like, fuck that. Franky is hardcore. He's hardball, baby. But, I mean, that part was cool. Now, I want to close out on this. You know, the heel fruit is more of a power than I thought. It's way more of a power than I thought because we also get the revelation that Doflamingo has the heel fruit as a backup. He wants to use Mansherry even at the expense of her life force, that if anything happens to the Smile Factory, that he'll be able to restore to his previous condition. Like I said, it comes at the expense of the user. And that brings up my final question for you guys. Just how fucking scary is Kaido if Doflamingo, somebody who's a troll like this, who has this birdcage ability, who has this power, the string fruit, is willing to go through precautions like this? Like, on a scale from 1 to 10, where would Doflamingo rank in power, and then where does Kaido rank in power? Let me know down in the comment section below, but as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, share. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.